Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and I'm gonna be doing a late review of Life is Strange 2 Episode 2. So, I'm going to try and avoid major spoilers for Episode 1 as much as possible, but I cannot guarantee that, so if you don't want possible spoilers, well, you may not want to watch this video. Given that this is just one episode of a much longer series, I'm mostly going to be focused on the story, so this is probably going to be a shorter video. So, the story continues with Sean and Daniel on the run, but something kind of crazy happened at the end of episode 1, and you realize Daniel has telekinetic powers. Which I know I vaguely alluded to the Life is Strange world really kind of picking up at the end of the Captain Spirit, like, prologue demo thing. And this is what I mean by that, is you find out that Daniel has telekinetic powers. And it starts out with Sean and Daniel practicing so that Daniel can learn to control his abilities because, well, quite frankly, they can be extremely dangerous. But also, unfortunately, Daniel has become kind of sick, so they need to come up with a new game plan beyond their original, which leads them to find their grandparents. And I gotta say, the way that went was not at all how I was predicting it. There were a few things throughout the episode that, once again, I was like, could have done something a little less predictable there. But that being said, I do like where the story is going, and I'm very curious with the characters being introduced, where the story will go, how each of those characters will affect Daniel and Sean, because, I mean, that's kind of a big deal. You've got these two boys who are just going through so very much, and, you know, you never know who's there to really help and who's not, and it's definitely building, and I'm very curious to see where it will go. As for the audio, again, there were a few things where I was like, I wish this was a bit better acted out, but overall, I still think the audio is good. I like the soundtrack in episode 2 more than in episode 1. As for the gameplay, there is one change to the gameplay element, and that is Daniel's telekinetic powers. You don't necessarily control them, but you can ask him to do things with them, and so that does add an extra layer to it. As for the controls, I didn't have any issues, so that wasn't a problem. And once again, the controls are mapped the same way, so no real change there. As for the graphics, no real change there. I still love the way they look. I did run into a couple of issues. There was one point where Daniel warped back into a building. So that was a little weird, and I could have done without that, obviously. As well as during the epilogue, there were a couple of times where it stuttered, and that was a little annoying. But overall, still a good-looking game, and during the actual important stuff, it was running just fine. Okay, so to wrap this up, still enjoying it. I'm really hoping it doesn't take a turn, because it is doing so well right now. I'm just scared in the next 3 episodes that something's gonna go wrong. But for now, I'm still excited and still enjoying the story. Okay, so in the comments down below, why don't you tell me your favorite second album by a band? We're gonna go away from video games for a minute. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing in general, share, subscribe. Have a good one.